Okay, guys, this is I think the fourth video talking about our apocalyptic books, right? So I'm gonna go to the other room. I forgot one I wanted to bring out. Actually, I forgot two I wanted to bring out, so got them here, and we'll talk about those shortly. Yeah. Let's see here. Now, talk about this book, okay? So, I've been talking about survival handbooks and whatnot, bushcraft and survival books. But this particular book is a book by Bushcraft, okay? And this is an instructor trainee book. So this is basically it's an outline, it's a syllabus for you to follow to create your own thing, right? So you could use this to create a program to help you create a program for training your family and friends and whatnot in all of these sorts of skills. So if you're already of an instructor level in bushcraft survival, then this will help you to basically outline a program, right? So we have talked about in the past, how it would be great to, have something new, because the Boy Scout organization kind of went off the deep end, and so many people in the United States wanted to they pulling their kids out of the Boy Scouts because it was full of, DEI woke baloney now, and other things that don't really go along with the normal way of life, right? But yeah, you could use this to help you create your own program for your family and friends and whatnot. So anyway, putting that out there, you can get this, use it along with Morse's other books, Bushcraft and then the Boreal Survival, whatnot. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that because I actually want to talk about that in a previous video there. But anyway, I want to get back to this other book that I had left off in our last video, Snowwalker's Companion. This book is like really, it's almost a revered book amongst a lot of people in the outdoors community, for winter wilderness travel and whatnot. But the thing is that in my opinion, this book is got a lot of good stuff in it, but then it's got some stuff in it that just, to me is not so good, personally. And I can hear people, crying already, because they put certain people on a pedestal, and they're in awe of everything that they say and they do. But I'm not like that at all. I look at something from a practical standpoint, and I, make a judgment as to whether I think it's really relevant or not. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've pulled plenty of pulk through the snowshoeing and Nordic skiing and so on. I've done it. I've been there, but the thing is these people kind of, they're doing some things. Well, I think he's passed away now, but anyway, they were doing some things that to me didn't make a whole lot of sense. So like on the back here, they got this picture of him and her with these gigantic toboggans. That's a no. Carry gigantic, you're not going to pull gigantic toboggans. It doesn't make any sense to pull them 100 miles, across the wilderness. Even if you're doing it for fun, it still doesn't make any sense. This is the reason why the Norwegians, Amundsen got to the South Pole first, is because he made a special study of the Inuit and all of their practices. And this is one of the reasons why I admired the guy so much as an explorer, is because he looked at what worked and what's worked for generations and generations and generations of people that constantly live in that particular type of environment. Now, I'm not saying that everything in this book is bad, but I'm not saying everything in this book is good. To me, I'd pick and choose. In my opinion, why are you pulling a pulk for 100 miles? Get yourself some dogs. There's plenty of dogs. It's not outlawed, It's outlawed in Antarctica right now. I think Will Steger was one of the last people that was allowed to use dogs in Antarctica. But there's plenty of dogs out there, and it's not cruel. Those dogs love pulling sleds. They love it. And they love sleeping outside. They're made for it. They're made for 50 below. We're talking Akitas and Malamutes and Huskies and Samoyeds. All of those dogs, they're made for that. It's in their genetics. So get yourself some dogs. Learn how to control dogs. Yeehaw. That's yeehaw. You know what G and haw is? Yeah, left and right and all that. Stop. Halt. Hey. Alto. Right? So learn how to control the dogs. Get a good dog that follows commands really well. Once that dog's trained up, that dog can train other dogs. That's your lead dog. I'm not an expert on dog sledding. Don't think I am. But there are experts on dog sledding out there. And it just makes sense. Even the Inuit, if they are not, they're only pulling small loads by themselves. They only do a little bit by themselves, if anything. Okay, and the rest, they've got a team of dogs pulling that pulk, that sledge. Okay, so anyway, I guess I'm harping, but there's a lot of good stuff in here, but then there's a lot of stuff that that's kind of like their own philosophy or whatever. So you can take things and leave them as you will. Now that I've spent entirely too much time on that book, I'm running out of time actually. We'll go on to the next book here. So I have this little book. It's called Your Own Book of Campcraft. The author's name is Catherine H.T. Hammett, Hammett, okay, and it's prepared under the auspices of the American Camping Association, right, which probably does not exist anymore, but it's pretty cool because it's got checklists, you know, and it's got stuff in here about learning skills, and you know, once you've learned this, you know, it's kind of like it's almost like a Boy Scout, Girl Scout combo thing here for men and women and young people. And it's got all kinds of camp craft and knots and all kinds of goodies in here. But I highly recommend that you try to find a copy of this book. This is a really good book. Alright? It's back when people used to when they used to give out the pioneering badge in the Boy Scouts, you know, you'd like cut down stuff, you know, saplings and small trees, and you'd build monkey bridges and all that jazz. That's all in there, right? I'm going to the next one here. I'm gonna go to this one actually first. This particular book is actually Be Prepared, a Boy Scouts of America brand. Okay, now if you're going to have one wilderness survival manual, handbook, I think that this one is a great one. It's not a be-all, end-all, but it's small and it's very, very packed with good information, okay? It's called the Complete Wilderness Training Manual, right? And it says, Be Prepared, a Boy Scouts of America brand. It's got some guy's name here, whether it's real or not. It could be a ghostwriter. Hugh McManners. Okay, Hugh McManners. Anyway, highly recommend that one. Next, Old School. This is a Canadian Forces Survival Manual. It says, Never say die. Right? Never say die. Got all kinds of good stuff in here. You know, it goes from the guy doing a PLF, a parachute landing fall, right? It even shows him right here. Parachute landing techniques on open terrain and this and that, blah, 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 you know, so shows that, right? So the guy's obviously hitting the ground, something happens, and then all of a sudden you're in a survival mode, right? Shelters, signaling, fire, all kinds of good stuff in here. And just because this is an old book doesn't mean it's not good, okay? So I judge depending on content, not depending on age. Alright. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off, and we will come back in one more, and we will discuss the rest of these books, and then we will have a little chit chat as well. I'll see you there.